Sport News 999.
Revenge was on the menu at Stamford Bridge last night as Kevin De Bruyne proved a point to Chelsea. De Bruyne kept Manchester City level at the top of the Premier League with the crucial goal against his old team and showed why they were wrong to sell him. Chelsea reject was the ironic chant from the City fans. It was a beauty from the Belgian, a stunner into the top corner that sealed a victory that City fully deserved. With the game deadlocked, he shifted Nicolas Otamendi's pass into the heart of Chelsea's defense. After swapping passes with Gabriel Jesus, De Bruyne reached the edge of the area and fired into the top corner. His passing and control of games in midfield has been compared to Paul Scholes, and the Manchester United legend would have been proud of yesterday's winner. If Chelsea end up losing their title, De Bruyne will play a big role if City end up winning it. It makes a mockery of Jose Mourinho's decision to sell De Bruyne back in 2014 when he couldn't get in the Chelsea team. After making a name for himself at Wolfsburg, KDB is now back in the Premier League, proving everyone wrong. It was such a big win for Pep Guardiola's team. This time last year teams were getting to grips with their style and getting results against them. The last week has also seen Guardiola lose his left-back Benjamin Mendy to a serious injury and Sergio Aguero after his car crash in Amsterdam. It looked like Chelsea might frustrate them and stifle them, but then De Bruyne popped up with his moment of magic. Antonio Kante, meanwhile, is now sweating on Alvaro Morata's fitness after he limped off clutching his hamstring. It could be a blow for them if he fails to recover over the international break. And in this clash, it meant Willian coming on and playing without an out-and-out striker until De Bruyne had opened the scoring. Michy Batshuayi may have scored the winner against Atletico Madrid in midweek, but Kante kept his remaining forward on the bench and tried to keep it tight. It was understandable as City were flying at the champions with pace. After an early threat when Morata nodded over, it was a case of City picking through Kante's defense but failing to put the finishing touch to their moves. While Kante was decked out in a crisp suit, Pep was informal in a hooded jacket and white trainers, looking ready for a night out down the King's Road. Raheem Sterling was guilty of being casual too, with the biggest chance of the first half. He raced through and had Leroy Sane and David Silva with the goal at their mercy, but his cross was wayward. That was just one of the attacks that City launched and found space in opposing territory. Thibaut Courtois was also down sharply at the foot of his post to keep out a viscous drive from Silva. The Chelsea keeper was also at full stretch to keep out Fernandinho's thumping header. Courtois' only slip-up in the first half was dithering on a kick, which Jesus charged down. The ball could easily have ended up in the back of the net, but luckily for Courtois it fell wide. At the other end, Ederson kept out a drive when Cesar Azpilizueta got sight of goal from the edge of the area. But the Chelsea wing-back and his teammates spent lots of time on the back foot too. With Morata off, the middle of the park was congested and there were plenty of mistakes, mistimed tackles and possession changing hands. It was played at 100 miles per hour with barely time to think on the ball. There was even a little needle in the dugout, with Kante upset when Sterling went to ground in the early stages. Twice he yelled at fourth official Andre Mariner after the England star claimed free kicks. When Silva went over, Kante wanted him booked. City's bench also questioned the officials in the second half when they had a couple of penalty shouts. The first was when Jesus ran into Andreas Christensen as he dashed into the penalty area, the second when Marcos Alonso ran across Sane. Both times Martin Atkinson refused to point the spot. The two sets of staff have previous, with last year's fixture ending in a tunnel bust-up, and there was always an edge with the game so tight.